up, my nizzles? It's me, the B Jizzle from NWA TNA, and you're listening to the Interactive Interview. And if you ain't down, clown, I got 2 words for you. Ooh, that's copy.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com. I'm James Walsh, joined as always by Daniel Edler with our special guest, BG James. BG, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's B Jizzle. I want you to get that straight because, you know, I've been down to the hood now. I've been to the Latino side of the world, and I think I'm down with all the ethnic slurs and stuff. So I want you to call me B Jizzle, and also it rhymes with like drizzle and snizzle. So.
Well, obviously.
Welcome to the show, B Jizzle.
Hey, it's good to be here, guys. I appreciate y'all calling and taking the time out to talk to me. You know, just getting back into the giz-aim, as they call it. And I'm not talking about Triple H. I'm talking about the professional wrestling game. I just joined NWA TNA not too long ago.
Right.
Myself, I guess everybody knows who watches it now knows that me and Ron the Truth Killings and K Diddle in the middle form the 3 Live Crew. And this weekend we got a 4-way dance, 4 tag teams, a tag team in every corner. And you know what? I don't even know who all it's for, but it's for the #1 contendership for those NWA tag team titles that are held by Johnny Swinger and Slimmy Iqbal. I don't know what their names are, to tell you the truth. They're fly-by-nights, and they hadn't been in business long enough to lace my boots. So myself and one of my partners, or either the two of them, will be happy to slide through the competition like a hot knife through butter, and then we'll take on Swinger and Slash Ball, or whatever his name is, and then we'll be the NWA Tag Team Champions of the world, and I think you've heard that from me before, because Tag Team Gold is something that I am very familiar with. Anyway, guys, I've talked for 4 minutes straight, and I need to take a breath. Y'all got some questions for the B Jizzle, or what?
Sure do. Originally, obviously, you originally grew up in a wrestling family. Who actually trained you for wrestling?
To be quite honest, my brothers and Tommy Rich and Johnny Rich. A lot of southern wrestling fans will remember those names. Actually, all wrestling fans should remember Tommy Rich. He was actually the NWA heavyweight champion for a stint there back in the 70s. And but they all trained me when I was a young man, about 14 or 15, and there was a great territory down here where I lived, actually, Continental Championship Wrestling. My father, Bob Armstrong, was a part owner and booker of that territory, so all the guys, we all used to hang out, and we lived down here right by the water in Pensacola Beach, Florida. So we used to go out in about shin-deep water, and they would just beat the stew out of me. But then they would also take some bumps for me too, and feed me, if y'all are down with the wrestling lingo. They would feed me for hip tosses. I would hip toss them. I got another call coming in, but you know what? It's not as important as the interactive interview, so we're going to let that one slide. Anyway, they would feed me drop kicks and the whole nine. So they trained me when I was real young, and then I joined the military. Of course, I never had my formal wrestling training. I started wrestling as soon as I got out of the military. So I guess who trained me was Tommy Rich, Johnny Rich, and Scott, Steve, and Brad Armstrong, and Tim Horner. I don't know if y'all remember that name. That's the name
Sure do.
in the past.
Sure do.
Were you encouraged to be a wrestler by the family?
Was I encouraged?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I was discouraged by my father. I think he was, he'd been in the business a long time, and he was wiser than I was, to be quite honest. And he discouraged me against it. Said, no, don't get into it. It's a hard life. It's, the hard knock life, the old saying. But it was in my blood. I wanted to do it so bad, and nobody could keep me from doing it. And now that I've done it, I see exactly why my father tried to deter me from becoming a professional wrestler. But I don't regret a minute of it. I'm proud of everything I've done. Not so proud of the fact that I demoralized a generation with my Generation X stuff. But I am proud that I made it to the top of the mountain, and I had a good time. So no, the family did not encourage me. They discouraged me, but I went against their will, and the rest is history.
You served in the Desert Storm War. What is your memory of that lifestyle, the military lifestyle?
I still carry a lot of my, military habits around with me. Very tidy, organized. I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years, and did pretty well. And I liked that. It actually fit. I fit that lifestyle pretty well because I had some self-discipline. My father was, the disciplinarian in the family, and he didn't beat us, but he was strict, and he probably would have if we had messed up. But we were also scared of his big, huge 20-inch arms that we never got in trouble. I carry a lot of those habits with me still to this day. I love it, and I stay glued to Fox News Channel. That's a gratuitous Fox News Channel plug there for them. I stay glued to that now because our boys are over there now, and people forget about that, and a lot of people who had never been there, never been in that situation, kind of downplay the war in Iraq. Whether we should be there or not, I hate to get political on you, but whether we should be there or not, they're there, and they're our boys, and they're our troops, and you support them. And sometimes, to tell you the truth, I don't have flashbacks, but I remember what was going on, and, at a certain time when I see stuff on television, and I kind of wish I was there, and that's almost sadistic to say that you wish you were in a war, but it just seems like I want to help out, you know what I mean? Our freedom will be defended, by God.
You wrestled in Smoky Mountain Wrestling under your real name. What stories and memories do you have from that?
Smoky Mountain was awesome. I just wish Jim Gordette, who was running it, would have ever paid the checks that he wrote. But it went well for a while, and I thought it was going to do good. It was another organization that they ran for a while, and my fondest memories of it were just getting experience, because I really got some good experience with some good workers, a lot of guys that could work up there in Smoky Mountain, Primetime Brian Lee, and the Harris twins were all up there, and I just had fun with some good guys and good workers that could teach. Dirty White Boy, Tom Pritchard was there at the time, so it was a great crew, and I was really young in the business, and it was what an opportunity for me to gain quality experience. That was a bunch of big words I just used for a redneck, but yeah, so I had the fond memories of Smoky Mountain, but like I said, the most memorable thing about it was the fact that I learned how to wrestle there, and that was pretty important at the time, that I needed to learn how to do that.
You also wrestled under your real name in USWA, wrestling through until you lost the Lose Leave the Town match against Jeff Jarrett. What stories and memories do you have from there?
Yeah, I love that. That was all right after the Roadie and Double J thing.
Right.
We walked out of the WWF. We felt they weren't treating us right. People that were in the same position as we were on the cards were getting paid twice as much as we were, and that just ain't right. It takes two to tango. Everybody knows that. Fred Astaire would have been nothing without Ginger, and we just were not getting treated right. That's how we felt at the time. So Jeff and I walked, and of course Jeff's dad always had his fingers in the cookie jar of USWA, and Jerry Lawler, and I was fresh off that TV, so I went down there to work with Memphis and Nashville, and then Jeff, of course, we were both unemployed at the time, so we worked a little angle together down there, and I always loved working with Jeff. We have a good time, and then he got moved to WCW, and I stayed there and went to Germany from there, and I worked overseas a little bit, and then I came back here. My wife was going to have our second child, and that's when Bruce Pritchard called me from the WWF, said, "You want to come back?" And I said, "Do I ever? I'm 8 months pregnant and need some diapers." So, yeah, so I signed back on with the WWF. I guess that was in 95, 96, something like that.
How did you enjoy the Roadie character?
I love the Roadie character. I mean, that was the best gig in wrestling, to be quite honest with you. If I could do the Roadie for the rest of my life, it would have been great. All you got to do is pop up on the apron every now and then to get knocked back down, and feed in at the right time to take somebody's finish or something. It's very easy work, and it's easy to get heat. Me and Jeff had legitimate heat. We were working. I don't know if you remember. We worked with an angle with Razor Ramon.
Right.
and 1-2-3 Kid, their X-Pac jumped in at the end of it right before we quit. But we had legitimate heat at a time when nobody else did, you know, and it was the business was really bad then. We weren't making any money, and I think they were just treating us wrong, you know. So no, but the character itself, the Roadie, that was easy money. Easy money. What little they were paying me, it was really easy.
How did the name Road Dogg come about? You still there?
Hello?
Hi. You still there?
Yeah, we back?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I was talking, and all of a sudden I didn't hear you guys, so
How did the name...
It's all good. I don't know what we were talking about.
The question I just asked you while you were gone was, how did the name Road Dogg come about?
Oh, that was Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett gave me, I was Roadie. I was the Roadie, and so instead of calling me Roadie, he just, said, "Oh, Road Dogg. The old Road Dogg's coming with me." And so that was literally that was Jeff Jarrett. I have to footnote double J on that one because he gave me the name Road Dogg, and then the Jesse James, I'd always kind of thrown around. And the New Age Outlaw, that was mine. I wanted to be that when I was the Roadie. I wanted to be the New Age Outlaw. And I didn't know what the name would be, but then Jesse James came to me. So, old Jeff came up with the Road Dogg. So if they wanted to get beagle about it, I could be working as that right now because I guess I signed it over to them, but they didn't create it.
How did you enjoy being the quote-unquote real Double J?
I hated that gimmick. I knew we were going to talk into that gimmick, and no, I did. I hated that gimmick. I liked it at first, to tell you the truth, and it was a good idea. It sounded good, looked good on paper, but as soon as I got into it, it was really bad. It was at a time where the people did not want to, baby face. They were starting to, society as a whole, as far as professional wrestling goes, that is, society as a whole was turning kind of dark, where they wanted to see maybe in that it was about the Stone Cold time, and they just hated babyface coming out there singing country music. And so I told Vince in Green Bay, Wisconsin, when I forget it, I said, hey, this gimmick sucks. I said, they hate me, and it's just no good for me, And he said, what do you mean? I said, they just booing me and booing me. I said, it's turned me heel at least. At least let me try to get some heat. If they're going to hate me, let me try around and let them hate me. And so then we started putting in the word, me and Billy, because they weren't doing anything with Billy either. And he was the Rockabilly, and I was the Double J, and it seemed like we were two of the same gimmicks, and he was a heel and I was a babyface. It seemed like the natural thing to do to put us together in a tag team.
Talking about the tag team of the New Age Outlaws, you've been considered possibly the most successful tag team of the 90s, and how much fun did you have working with Billy?
Well, first of all, of the 90s, what are you talking about? Who's the new one? Who's the new tag team?
I'd have to say America's Most Wanted.
Think about it for a second, and then tell me. I want you to be honest. I'm being honest with you about all my questions. I want to know who the new tag team is with the dynamics that the New Age Outlaws had. And I'm not being braggadocious here. I'm just stating a fact that the New Age Outlaws were a part of, and I'm not saying the reason for it, I'm saying they were a part of the biggest thing to hit professional wrestling, and it was an ingredient. They had Stone Cold, The Rock, D-Generation X. It was a culmination of talent for dang sure, but it was. The New Age Outlaws were definitely the tag team. I guess I'll go with you on that. I'll let you slide on that. So they were definitely a tag team of the 90s. But I still, if you ask me, there's not a tag team out there today that comes out and has the people like we had them and entertain the people like we entertained them. I thought we gave them good wrestling and we gave them good television. I thought that me and Billy gelled well together that way, and it was weird because we're two totally different people in real life. We're so far apart from each other, but yet in the ring, we were a well-oiled machine. It felt good. He was a heck of an athlete, man. I had a great time working with Billy.
You asked us to give you a name of a tag team today that was had the fans behind him like that. How about a tag team like America's Most Wanted?
Hey, you know what the truth of the matter is? They are over like Rover in Nashville. Now, I'm not in the business side of it. I'm kind of just wrestling. I don't know what their pay-per-view does. I don't know how many of you households are watching or anything like that. But I can tell you that those fans in Nashville, Tennessee love America's Most Wanted. And I'm going to tell you, B. Jizzle loves them too. I love to watch their matches because they always have a good match with good hope spots and they tell a good story, and they're rugged. They don't mind beating the crap out of one another, and good. They just always have a good match, and they're the only team I'm really worried about. Like I said, we got that four-way tag, and I think they're one of the teams, and they're the only team I'm really worried about in there because I know them people love them up there. So, and we're a babyface team too, so it's going to be interesting to see who they go for up there. This week coming up this Wednesday.
Dan, would you like to take this one?
You've worked with Billy Gunn in the past, and you're now no longer working with him. Do you still keep in contact with Billy?
Actually, I do not. I haven't spoke with Billy since I left the WWF, and that doesn't mean we're not close. It's professional wrestlers are. I don't like the term fair weather friends, but it's convenient. I understand how busy he is being on the road, and so it's hard to keep, correspondence. I'm not a computer guy, so I don't email nobody or text nobody or nothing like that. So I'm a pretty hard man to get in touch with, actually. But no, we don't talk. Me and X-Pac stayed, communicating a little bit. I haven't spoke to him since he moved out to California, and I haven't spoken to anybody up there. Who I just spoke with was Midian. I don't know if you remember Midian.
Right.
But I thought his naked Midian was the best gimmick in professional wrestling ever. And I think that's why they put the brakes on it so fast. But he's the only one he was one of my best friends, really, and he's the only one I still keep in contact with.
One of your major feuds as a tag team was against the Legion of Doom. How did they feel about the chance of OLD? I'm sure they didn't like that. I'm sure they didn't like the fact that we egged it on. That I have a legion of dinosaurs and all that. But the truth of it was like I said, the people's society, as far as wrestling went, was turning against. 10 years ago, you go to Chicago. And the Road Warriors come out, or LOD comes out, and that top is coming off that building, and that's all there is to it. And then, say, 5 years ago, when we were there, it was almost who were they going to pop for, us or them? It was they were on their last leg, and that's just the truth. I love both of those guys to death, but they were on their last leg, and we were just newcomers coming up, and the people were digging us, and so I loved working with them. It was a great, believe you me, what a brush to be able to win the tag titles at in a Shark Tank in San Jose, California, from the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, Jiminy Christmas. I grew up watching them kill people on Georgia Championship Wrestling and NWA and stuff, and then there I was stealing their shark pants and shaving one of them's head and stuff. It was just what an awesome brush with that they gave us. You know what I mean? They literally gave us the elbow brush of success. And so I appreciate that from those guys, and it was a good angle, and I took their backflip clothesline finish and broke both my big toes the night that we won the belts. So probably breaking my toes was the most memorable moment I've ever done.
How are you approached about joining D-Generation X?
To tell you the truth, we were already a tag team. Myself and Billy were already a tag team, and Hunter and Sean approached us and said, what do y'all think about being that we're going to make, they were going to make us the tag champs. We knew that, so he said, what do y'all think about, being the tag champs and being with us? And we thought, well, shoot, that's great, because we knew Sean and Hunter were both going to be in a great spot all the time. You know what I mean? They weren't going to be in a bad spot. And so if we could hang with them and get a little of that big spot paydays, we were all for that with Eager Beaver. So they came to us, and I guess we came to them too. They didn't come like calling, begging us to come join DX or nothing, but we were friends and we talked, and But they came, it all came together, and man, did it ever. It came together like clockwork. I don't know that professional wrestling is very cyclical. It'll go up and down, it's not seasonal, but over years it'll get good again. But I don't know if it'll ever have that spike peak, how high that wrestling mountain was when DX and Stone Cold and The Rock, and man, what a cast of characters they had there for like 3 or 4 years. It was just awesome television.
Do you think that D-Generation X would work again if it was brought back, or do you think it would fail much like the NWO did?
You know what? I think it's totally dependent upon us. I think, for one thing, the people that wrestling itself is not ready to do anything big like that again. I mean, to me, that's a big deal. Getting DX back together would be a big deal. And the viewers just aren't out there right now to do it. So why? I mean, if you want to use that to try to get some viewers back, maybe, but I don't think it would have the effect. There's no one person, there's no one faction anymore that, like, really draws attention to the game of professional wrestling. There's no, and I don't know that even DX would. So timing-wise, right now would not be, to me, in my mind, would not be a good idea to reform D-Generation X. I would wait at least a year and see how the business is going. If it's back on the upswing and maybe they're in the green a little financially, then maybe throw them back together and maybe, I don't know if you can get Rocky out of his movies, long enough to come in there and do some stuff, but really throw a big WrestleMania at him next year or something, where you reunite some people and do some stuff. And I think, maybe in another year, I may be short guessing it may be 2 years before it gets good again, but it'll get good again. I just don't know if it'll ever get that good again. But as far as rejoining DX, I guess I just had a baby 4 months ago, so I got 3 children now, and my lifestyle's kind of changed a bit, from what it used to be. So it would be really hard for me to sign a contract with them to especially now they're not making any money and they're working their butts off, and I, at least when I was working my butt off, I was getting rich, and of course I'm not rich now. I lost everything because of trials and tribulations. But right now it's just not a good time to get back together with anybody. If they called me in a year, I'd be willing to do it. Maybe I could leave my house for a while then without feeling guilty. I just missed a lot of my younger children's T-ball games and school functions and so forth, and I don't think it's worth it, to tell you the truth. I've done them both now, and I'd rather go to the T-ball games and eat pork and beans than have filet mignon be a WWF superstar. And that's just me, and that's stupid people, younger wrestlers say, oh, he's an idiot or whatever. And, when I was younger, I wanted it, but I sacrificed my family and put myself, married myself to the road and spent half my money on the road, and so it's just a lot of sacrifice goes into this business, and that's what my father warned me about many years ago, and I went against his will, and then I learned the hard way. And so I'm like a LOD. I'm on my last leg in this business, and I tried to find a route out because I didn't think I could do it and stay sober, and it's been a blessing, a really blessing for Jeff Jarrett to call me and let me just work 1 day a week, and I make enough money to pay my bills, and eat good, feed my kids, and it's really perfect right now. I wouldn't want to sacrifice any more of my time for the business if I've kind of been hunting a job so I could sleep at home every night.
One of the bigger D-Generation X angles was when you showed up at WCW Arena demanding to see Eric Bischoff. How did you enjoy doing that?
I had a really good time doing that. There's some good stories to go behind that, but I won't tell them, so I shouldn't have teased with it. But that we had a really great time doing that, and like I said, we were all friends, and it was a great bunch of people, and so everywhere we went, we had a really good time doing it. We almost got arrested like 3 different times when we were there doing that because they kept calling the cops on us. Everywhere we went, they would call the cops on us, and so we had a blast doing it though. I'll never forget. I mean, it was groundbreaking stuff, and they were letting us run with it and we really produced and directed our own stuff because I mean, we knew what was, we had our fingers on the pulse of what was cool right then in society. We were young guys. They got these old guys trying to produce cool stuff, and that ain't gonna cut it. So we were kind of producing our own little gimmicks, but they set all that up, and then we'd just go and ad lib, and we really had a good time, and it made for great television, and it really set us apart then. That we were kind of gutsy and psycho at the same time.
What were your thoughts on the DX Nation parody?
The DX Nation, the Nation of Domination you're talking about?
The parody that you guys did of them.
Oh, the parody, yeah, that was, I don't know, what was the question, who made that up, or what was it about?
Just in general, what are your thoughts on it? Just like, yeah, who?
Oh, yeah, no, I thought that was one of the first things that we, I don't know if it was one of the first things, but I thought it was one of the funny things that we did, as DX, and it got over real well. We all of us were kind of not wanting to do it because we didn't know how it was going to come off. We didn't know if it was going to be too racy, like we were trying to, make fun of the race, pull the race card or anything like that. So we were all a little skeptical, but it seemed to go over good with the fans, so I guess I was D'Lo Brown. And speaking of D'Lo, he's up there now with us, and if he come into his own, he's a heck of a wrestler up there now. Him and AJ Styles have some of the best dang matches I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
But I totally veered away from your question, but hopefully I answered it enough.
How did you enjoy your match with Terry Funk and Cactus Jack at WrestleMania 14?
That was one of the toughest matches of my life, and the reason being is Terry Funk is one of the toughest men I've ever been in the ring with, and he was 60 years old and hitting me so hard, and me and Billy literally talked in the back and said, let's beat this old man to death. Let's show him who's tough, Let's literally show him who's tough. We got out there, and man was the shoe on the other foot. We gave him all we had, and he kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and of course, Mankind, you know how he is anyway. Everybody knows that. But Terry Funk, we thought, we'll get him because he's been hitting us with chairs and really just beating the fire out of us. We said, well, we got together, so we'll get his old butt, we'll get him. Man, was it ever, he beat the fire out of us. But it was it was one of my most memorable matches, It was great. It was, I remember telling Mankind, I want you to knock me out with that chair shot at the end. This interactive interview, I heard it's like a shoot interview, because every interview I do is a shoot interview. I tell the truth about everything, and that way there's nothing to hide from, no lies to stack on top of lies. But anyway, back to my story, I told him at the end of his match, I don't know if you remember, was a chair shot to my head that knocked me out onto the pallet, and they lifted it up and dropped us in the dumpster or whatever. Right. So, and he hit me with a good one. It didn't knock me out, but he hit me with a good one, and I was proud of that, because I always am a believer is if you're gonna get beat by something that looks good. Get beat by something good. You don't get beat by an eye rake or a Irish wimp.
Right. Dan, take the next one.
Okay, we've got a few questions that come in from the people that want to know. First question is from the Red Dragon, who would like to know, did Terry Funk versus Cactus Jack match originally planned to be a barbed wire match?
They had asked about us doing a barbed wire match, and me and Billy both said no, we didn't want to do that. And that's all the extreme people can call us sissies or whatever, but no, we didn't have a barbed wire match. For one reason, I really think it limits the match as to what you can do in the match, and for another thing, barbed wire sticks in your skin and hurts really bad. But yeah, so we'll put the Ixnay on that, and I think it worked out a lot better. I'm sure there would have been a lot more blood, but you can run Arnold Schwarzenegger and see all that. I was trying to be entertaining, and the barbed wire did not fit into my forte. So yeah, we put the Ixnay on that. But the Red Dragon, who is that? That's the Hannibal Lecter movie, right? Tell that dude never to call again.
Another one of our viewers, Jeremy Goss, would like to know, what was it like being the WWF Hardcore Champion?
Oh, that was, I'm glad you asked that, Jeremy, whatever his name, Jeremy Irons. That's not an actor, I'm sorry, that's not his name. Jeremy, because I was just thinking what a sissy I was for not having a barbed wire match, and now I thought, well, wait a minute, there's a hardcore champion, too, and I fought Mankind, and I had Snow, and I thought I had some good hardcore matches, to tell you the truth. Me and Boss Man were like the first one, and we kind of set them up. I think they turned a little hokey, but they still were over when they gave it to, Crash Holly, and they started doing them everywhere, and the Dead Gum Washateria and all that. I thought they were a little hokey, but yet it was entertaining enough to where it still got over real good. But I know I sound, braggadocious. I'll use that word again. I know I sound like I'm bragging, but I thought that we got me and Boss Man and I got those things kicking, I got them hardcore matches going, got that hardcore title mean something. And I found out because at the time Mick Foley was there, and they thought enough of me to put the belt on me instead of him, and he's the hardcore dude, so I was pretty proud of that. And I actually enjoyed my stint in the hardcore division. I really had a good time. You can do a lot with it if you take your time and think about it and make it make some sense. You don't have to kill each other the whole match. You can plot around and do some good stuff over there and some good stuff over here. And the hardcore division, yeah, it was fun. It was great having that title.
We always mentioned that you've worked against Mankind, but as New Age Outlaws, a question comes in from our fans that you defeated both The Rock and Mankind for the WWF Tag Team titles, and you defeated Al Snow and Mankind for the WWF Tag Team titles. What was it like working against those men?
Al Snow was great. Al Snow was a great wrestler, and that's probably why they got him training them dudes. I don't know if they still do that, but they had him training all them guys on that show, Tough Enough or whatever. He's a really great wrestler. I'll never forget in Greenville, Wisconsin, again, the same place I told that's my Double J gimmick sucked, was I had a match with Al Snow, and he is very much my senior when it comes to the wrestling business. And I was supposed to beat him, and I felt like that was I was undeserving of that. So he literally called the whole match, and we had a great match, and he put me over right in the middle of the ring, and I just, you don't know how much respect I got for him just for doing that, because I knew right then that he was like me. He didn't mind getting beat if it was for the better of the match. He didn't mind, and he still wanted to go out and have his best match. You know what I mean? He still wanted to go out and give it his all, even though it was getting beat to a younger, stupid idiot like me coming up in business, and he earned so much of my respect right then and always has had it. Mankind was always great to work with. You weren't going to get hurt unless he fell on you at the table or something, and he was just great to work with. He was so over that you could get a huge pop for that sock, or with some of his moves that he did all the time, his moves. So it was great working with him. And then the Rock, Rocky was really, really smooth in the ring. He really adapted well. The only person I can think that just came out of nowhere and adapted so well was Kurt Angle. People that just came and just really just adapted to the ring, and the timing was naturally good in the ring. And people who don't wrestle don't really get it, but timing and the knowledge of what's going on in there is so essential, even for the referee to know what's going on there. He could ruin a match for you, and Rocky was really good when he first got there, man. His timing was good. He just needed to come into his own and get comfortable with himself, and once he did, man, what a promo. He could cut a great promo. Me and him were always kind of butting heads, and I think it's because I was jealous of him a little bit, because I was rocking the mic, and you didn't know stuff, and then here he came along, and he was really, really tearing them up, and so I was like jealous of him. But hey, more power to him. I hope he's happy in his life and providing for his child, or he may have 2 children now, I don't know, but yeah, I love working with all those guys, man. It was great.
Back to the questions from myself and James. You defeated Bradshaw in the Great Old United Kingdom on an Interaction pay-per-view. How was it like working in England?
It was great working in England. The fans are always great over there. They always were. Every time we went over there with the WWF, they were awesome. And I even went over there with the WWA, I think it was called.
Yeah, World Wrestling Stars.
Actually, I'm not sure what the name of it was, but the fans there were awesome. Now, when it comes to working Bradshaw, that's a different story. That son of a gun knocked me out 2 times in the same match. Not that match you're talking about, but a Survivor Series in the States in Pittsburgh, I think it was, knocked me out with a clothesline and knocked me out with a powerbomb in the same match. He's a big, rough, rugged dude, and he's smart, too. I just saw him on Plug Fox News again, because I'm an avid news watcher. But he was on Bulls and Bears. He does stocks, and he just wrote a book. Bradshaw did. I'll just plug everybody on this whole interview. But no, Bradshaw just wrote a book, and I watched him on that Bulls and Bears, and he's actually smart as a whip, man. He knew all about the stocks and bonds and what to buy and what not to buy. It really impressed me, man. He's got his hair cut, and he was in a suit. He looked really good, and believe you me, I've seen him when me and him have been burning our shacks with each other before. So he looked good, and he's doing good. I'm happy for him because I know his wife. And but he's a great guy. See, that's weird, and it's almost masochistic to say how great this guy is, and then right after I told you he knocked me out twice in one match, you know.
Right.
So it's really weird to say that, but it's just a given in the wrestling world. You're gonna get your bell rung. You're gonna break a bone, probably. You're gonna, you know what I mean? It's just gonna happen. And sometimes the nicest guy in the world can do it to you, you know. And he doesn't mean to. He ain't got a Bradshaw. I mean, he'll beat you up, but he ain't got really a mean bone in his body. He's a big, good dude. He really is. But yeah, England fans are great, and Bradshaw's stiff.
At Judgment Day in 2000, you worked with X-Pac and defeated the Dudley Boys in a table match. How do you enjoy working a table match, and what's your favourite type of gimmick match?
Probably a table match or just a hardcore match is my favorite kind of gimmick match. I don't like ladder matches too much because too many things depend on the ladder. You know, if you got props in there that the whole match depends on, something's bound to go wrong with it. Now, tables, you know, that's a different story. You're going to pull them out and set them up yourself as you need them, so they're not going to get in your way and they're not going to hinder your merits. That's one of my favorites. We defeated them guys because me and X-Pac had a little pull at the time, and they came in from ECW, and they were the table. They brought the tables. That's what they did, you know. And X-Pac went in there and said they were going to beat us. And X-Pac went in there and said, no, we're still, you know, DX still kind of hanging tough with DX a little bit. And they said, X-Pac told him, no, they ain't coming in here brand new and beating us. He said, we've been on top the whole time, you know. And that's politics. There's politics in every job, and there was there too. But at the time, we were the congressmen, you know what I mean? And they were the new guys coming in who were the interns at the time, you know. Now I understand that if I went back, they would be above me on the totem pole, but at the time, it wasn't so. And so they were supposed to beat us, and we ended up beating them 2 times in a row in table matches. Bless their heart. They still got a job, and here I am hungry. So, you know, that just goes to show you.
Politics, and in fact, it was the White League who were running the backstage politics game, and these people accused Triple H of using his position in the company to adjust his title reign, whatnot. Was there any of that sort of thing when you first started that you noticed?
Yeah, there was. The Clique was large and in charge when I was the Roadie, and it just so happened that Razor Ramon was in the Clique. Me and Jeff worked with Razor. We made Razor look great every night. Not that he needed that because he was over and he was a good worker. Scott Hall, a great worker, and he was really over. But we kind of joined in the Clique. We were in the Clique. We were just an extended part of the Clique, you know. So they looked out for us, and except when it came to the paydays, you know. And then it's every man for himself, and that's understandable. You can't fret for that, you know. But as far as the politics, man, it's always going to be there. I don't know Hunter. I haven't been up there. Hadn't been around him in a long time. I mean, I know from who he was when he was terrorizing. When I first met him, I was Brian Armstrong, and we were in WCW together. And then he went to the WWF, and later I went, and then we went through all we went through. And I know he changed a little bit, you know, and I was, at the time, that's when I was using drugs a lot and stuff, and he really frowned on that, and that's understandable. But you know, I thought he was my friend, and he kind of frowned on me a couple of times there towards the end, and I was getting pretty bad, so maybe, you know, looking back, it's understandable why he was like that to me, but at the same time, it's like I needed help. I don't need somebody to snub their nose at me, you know. So as far as the political stuff goes nowadays with Stephanie or whatever, I don't know. I can't make any comment about that because I just don't know nothing about it, you know, but politics goes on no matter what company you work for, you know, TNA or the WWE or, you know, whoever. Wrestling politics is there. There's a wrestler or wrestlers with power, and they will utilize that power. And it's a dog-eat-dog sport. It's a dog-eat-dog world, you know. So, I mean, it's understandable if you have the ability to further yourself financially and your career, you're going to go and do that. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to step on somebody else to do it. But I'm going to go and do it if I can go and talk to the boss. If I'm on that kind of relationship, terms with him, if I'm can do that, I'm going to do that. And if that's politics, then so be it. That's, but I would never step on nobody else or nothing like that to better myself. I just didn't. I don't feel you got to do that. If you got to do that, then it ain't good enough to begin with.
On December 20th, 2000, WWF.com posted this exact quote saying, "The Road Dogg Jeff James has been suspended indefinitely for undisclosed reasons, according to Jim Ross, Senior Vice President for Talent Relations." Had you been released by that point, and can you explain why you were?
Yeah, I had already been released by that point, but I'd already been released by that point, and the way they released me, I didn't like. I don't like how it all went down. Me and Jim Ross have never seen eye to eye. I don't think he's an honest man, and for that we don't see eye to eye. If I look a man in the eye and tell him something, by God, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Something may happen and it may change, but when I tell you I'm going to do something, or when I tell you something to your face, I'm not going to lie about to your face. I just ain't in me. And unfortunately, it's his job to do that. He's the heavy. He has to take all the bull crap, and he took all of mine. And looking back, I understand why they fired me, but I don't like the way they fired me. And I don't have a grudge because I understand they're looking out for their best interest, And then I was going to become a statistic. Is what I was going to do. I was going to kill myself on drugs. I was just getting crazy and out of control. And me and my wife were separated, so I was kind of living a single life, and I just really got out of control. So they let me go, and yeah, but I was released by that time, and Jim Ross did release me. He did it in a cowardly way, and he looked me right in the eye and lied to me on several occasions. And man, I get mad. I'm mad right now thinking about it, because I don't dig that at all. Guys, we're going to have to catch up to 2003 here in a second because my wife keeps looking out the door saying supper's ready.
Next question I have for you is, did you ever lose your love for the business?
Hold on, my baby girl said there's no supper left.
Aww.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll come in a minute.
I'm sorry for taking so long on this.
That's all right. That's all right. What was the question?
Did you ever lose your love for the business?
Yes, I have already. And you know what? In all actuality, I'm kind of getting a little bit of it back because I'm having a good time up there in WTNA. I'm not married to the business. It's kind of a fun thing I go do once a week, and they're letting us have a good time up there. The 3 Live crew, me and Ronnie and Kate Diddle, they're letting us have a good time. So the love for the entertainment aspect of it is coming back a little bit. But yes, I did lose my love. I really, at first you hunger for the business. You want to be in it. You want to be successful. You want to, you just want to do anything you can to be as good as you can, as high on the totem pole as you can. And yes, I've lost all that now. And truthfully, if I could get another job where I could pay my bills, I would do that because I want to be at home every day with my family. I don't want to leave town one day. So if I could, I would, but it's hard. It's like the mafioso. Once you get in, man, it's hard to get out. And then another thing, I have qualifications for the job market. I was a rifleman in the Marine Corps, and then I was a professional wrestler. That's not a lot to offer IBM, so... Right. So it looks like I'm stuck. But no, I did lose my love for it for sure. But I think I'm starting to like it again. You know what I mean? I'm falling in like with it again. I'll go that far. Gentlemen, I'm gonna have to sum it up and hit me with your last shot, and let's sum this up. And I apologize, but my wife's hollering about no food left. Man, I'm hungry.
All right, would you give us 2 more?
2 more. Come on.
All right. How did you enjoy working with Zach Galvin in the NWA?
Actually, I loved it, and that's the truth. I loved it. I thought, what an opportunity to see if I can still, because I had put on a lot of weight, and I'm trying to get it off. I've lost some of it, but I'm still trying. I had worked in a year and a half, so it was a chance to see if I could. And he's actually very good. I mean, to think, if you actually sit down and think the man has 1 leg, he's a lot better than very good. He's friggin' miraculous,
Absolutely.
It's a miracle from God. He has 1 leg and can do a deadgum moonsault in the wrestling ring, And so I really enjoyed working with him. And what I liked better, and I'm not kidding, is the fact that 2 weeks later he was up there doing a big angle with Piper and Hogan.
Right.
That just let me know that somebody saw what I did. You know what I mean? Somebody saw what he could do with somebody who was halfway decent like myself. And he was good enough. Yeah, it was good enough for them to sign him, So I love working with him, and I think he's a hell of a young man. He's got a great human interest story, and I don't watch our show. I watch our show, to tell you the truth. But if they didn't, really, I would have overplayed the human interest story side of it, and and then beat the crap out of him with his own leg.
Okay, Dan, this is your last chance, yeah.
Okay, I'll choose the very best question out of all the DNA questions we've got. Let me think. More recently, you've been involved, obviously, with the Creed 3 Live crew. How did you enjoy the comedy sketches you've done, and which was your best one?
I really loved them all. I thought I had a good time doing them all. I think the earlier ones were funnier because they were rawer. They gave us some leeway, and just put us basically into scenarios, and then we would ad-lib our way out of it, and I thought some of them were really funny, and I thought some of them were lacking some humor towards the end there. It was time to start wrestling, because we weren't putting as much time and effort into making them. We were kind of just running place to place and doing little things and leaving. And but I thought the weekday update we did was pretty funny, and I don't know. There's a couple of there's funny spots in all of them, and when I think back, they jumble all together because I think there's really legitimately funny spots in all of those little things. But I love doing it. See, we stopped doing it now. We've got to work, and so that sucks because I'd much rather do comedy skits than get hit in the head with chairs. That's just how that works. That's why people go to Saturday Night Live and work instead of being wrestlers. But I've been having a ball up there at TNA, and my life is going good. Had my third child. Me and my wife been
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Now, and we were just separated. We never really divorced, and God put us back together, and everything in my life is going good, man. And I owe it to God. I don't mean to get Jesus freakish on you, but I do. He put it all back together for me when I tore it all apart, and so B Jizzle is back on the bizzle, you know what I mean? And tune in every Wednesday night to NWA TNA and see the 3 Live crew do what they do.
Absolutely, and we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much, guys, and I appreciate you being understanding about the dinner.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
If Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
All right, well, have a good dinner.
Peace out, guys. I appreciate it. You've been listening to the interactive interview, and it was me talking to you. And if you didn't like it, then I say you tune in next week when they got, Steve Carino on or somebody.
Thanks a lot. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Enjoying what you're hearing? Be sure and check out WrestlingEpicenter.com on social media at Facebook.com/WrestlingEpicenter, on Twitter at James Epicenter, and of course, WrestlingEpicenter.com for 24-hour news updates, our interview archives, and all the other information you've come to expect from the Wrestling Epicenter.
Yo, what's up? What's crack-a-lackin'? This is K Dizzle in the cut. You're listening to the interactive interview. Órale, arriba la raza.
With BG James. What'd you think, Dan?
It was brilliant, wasn't it? It really was good.
Yes.
We're so sorry to keep him so long. He went into that, but it's a brilliant interview, and we really appreciate him taking his time because he originally started the interview when he was still in his car. So that's extremely nice. Extremely nice.
And did you notice the Road Dogg's dogs?
Yes, we did. Yes, I thought that was quite ironic.
I was thinking of saying it, but I was like, that'll sound like a lame ass, so leave that off there.
I appreciate you letting me take quite a lot of the interview because, of course, I knew a large amount about his career, including the dates, which I knew. I didn't research. I knew that one. I knew the one date and I knew the one pay-per-view that I mentioned. I knew them off the top of my head because I remember when he was released and when the message was put on WWE.com. So I remember that. And I'd say most of the WWE questions were just rolled off the top of my head as I thought of them. So, and I appreciate you giving me the rope to hang myself with.
Well, I thank you, and you I can't talk. You did a good job on this one, and you did a good job on Michael Shane. And I told you at the end of Michael Shane, I don't know if I said it on the recap, but I put my feet up. I was listening to you ask the questions, and I just said, all right, he's got it, and I put my feet up. And for the rest of the interview, just let you talk. So, I mean, my job's getting easier and easier every week, so.
You're going to miss me.
Yes, I am. Well, you're not going to be gone that long.
True.
I'm going to have to pay more money, but you're going to be on.
Yeah, it's true. So we're going to try and set it all up.
Yes,
I spoke to the company who's going to supply my landline today, and it's I'm living with two people, and they both said to me, the two things that we really want when we get down there are broadband internet, which is like cable, and a good landline with a good deal for national calls so we can ring home. I said, all right, that's cool, yeah, no problem, that's exactly what I want. So I rang up today and said, what deals you got on fast internet and a landline? They said, well, we've got this internet, which is what I've got at home, so that's cool, so we've got that sorted. Going in, and I'll probably with that internet for about 5 days, which would be a burden, but not too bad. And then I saw this deal where it's £25 in English money, which is about $40 per month, and you get free local and national calls, so free calls locally and to the other end of the country, not internationally though, unfortunately. And you get free cable television as well. So I said to them, oh, it's a good deal, isn't it? You get exactly what you want, and we get some extra television channels as well. And they sat there and said, well, it's a bit much, isn't it? I said, pardon? I said, oh, that's a bit much, isn't it? The £25. I said, are you willing to pay for the whole lot of it per month? I said, oh, you're really hilarious, and hang up on the phone to them. So that's going to be sorted pretty soon, but as soon as we can agree how much everybody's paying for everything, because if I was paying for that, then I'd be paying for the internet that they probably end up wanting to use. I'd be paying for the television that no doubt they'd be watching, and I'd be paying for the phone that I bet they'd be abusing.
Right. You should split it up 3 ways.
Exactly.
Right.
If you meet the people that I'm living with, then you realise that they'll get the best deal they can for their £1 or whatever it is. So.
8.3 pounds a person, that's all.
See?
Not so bad at all.
Yeah.
See, now I can do math. Now why can't I pass a math test?
Can't pass a math test?
I had a horrible algebra test this morning. I didn't get the grade back yet, but I don't want to.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
Yes, sure you are. So, B.G. James talked about it a lot. That's why we're putting this up today, the day that we conducted the interview. Let's talk about TNA tomorrow night. Raven against Shane Douglas, hair versus hair.
Shane Douglas, of course, is going to be an upcoming edition of the Interactive Interview. We've got that pretty much set, not as in we've got a date and everything, but we've spoken to Shane, and representatives have spoken to Shane for us, and we're hopeful to get him on the show pretty soon. So hopefully this will be a good match that he'll want to talk about. Hair versus hair. There's been a lot said about how there was going to be a CM Punk versus Raven match in the Ring of Honor with Raven's hair on the line, and since it was cancelled, you'd probably guess that it was going to be Raven who'd lose, but probably Raven's going to lose this one would imagine. But what do you think?
I'd like to see who the mystery man is. I personally don't care if Raven loses his hair, but I think there's too many people with bald heads. So one of Raven's gimmicks has always been his different hairstyles. Like way back when he had the long, dirty-looking brown hair, and now he has the whatever it is, blondish hair. And I don't know. I kind of like this hairstyle, but I think he's pretty much hell-bent on changing it, and I think the fact that he offered to do a hair versus hair match against CM Punk in Ring of Honor pretty much says, he's going to lose his hair eventually, and TNA probably said, well, why don't we get this on pay-per-view? We're bigger than Ring of Honor, so that's probably what they did.
Also on the show...
Pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's Bless you on that show. Sorry, do you want to talk about it? Sorry.
Yes.
I'm not funny anyway. No. Also on that show is the match that B. Jizzle was talking about. I love saying that, B. Jizzle. America's Most Wanted versus the Three Life Crew, who could consist of either himself, B. Jizzle, B.G. James, or the Suntan Superman, Ron Killings, or the K-Dog, Conan.
That's K. Dizzle, I think. I think they call himself K. Dizzle now.
Indeed. B. Jizzle. Versus Kid Cash and Abyss.
Oh, wow. By the way, let me throw this in here. Anybody see TNA about almost 2 weeks ago?
I did.
You did?
No.
No. Okay. Well, there was a segment backstage where Kid Cash and Abyss were talking to Terry Taylor.
Ah, yes, I did see this. Yes, I did.
And did you see the one with America's Most Wanted too?
Yes, I did.
Tell the truth. He's about half the size of Chris Harris.
He's about half the size of Terry Taylor.
Jesus, I was looking at him, and he's even smaller than I joked about. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's a midget.
I was playing a game called Extreme Warfare Revenge, or I think that's what it's called.
Extreme Warfare, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to you about that. And first thing that I'm going through, I'm in WATNA. You know, I'm kind of using roughly, you know, the sort of, because it's a simulator game. It's like a management type game for you out there, which can be checked out on adamryland.co.uk, or you can search for it in Google. Anyway, back to what I was saying. And so I was playing that, and first thing that came along after about 4 weeks into it, WWE have released half their roster, including like Scott Steiner and, you know, Paul London and everything. And the first 3 people they re-signed are Randy Savage, Kid Cash, and Abyss. Now I'm looking at it thinking, okay, Randy Savage I can understand, but Kid Cash and Abyss, is like they just released like Paul London and people like that. So there was obvious flaws with the game quite clearly, but
I don't know why they'd sign him in at all. There's rumors that they're interested in him. Personally, I don't believe them. And this is not a crusade against Kid Cash, because I know he's not that bad of a guy. He's not a friend of mine, but I know he's not that bad of a guy. But still, he's too small, he's too short, he's too thin. Though I must say he's built up a little bit more than he used to be. He just to me, does not have WWE material on him.
And I've personally not seen any real matches where he's shown he can do sort of Rey Mysterio high-flying, high spot left and right sort of thing the cruiserweight division would demand of him. So.
He can do that. But like I said, he's added a little bit of muscle. And I haven't seen him do it I was thinking about that the other day. I haven't seen him do as much lately as when he was more thin and, you know, more thin and not muscular and less suntan, I noticed too. I don't know why I notice these things.
I don't know.
I don't think the suntan has anything to do with anything, though.
Also on the show, they've got, of course, the one of the biggest feuds they've ever had in TNA revisited in AJ Styles versus Jerry Lynn. For the
say that again?
AJ Styles versus Jerry Lynn.
You want to talk about a 5-star match? You got to check it out tomorrow night. Now, I'm going to take a guess and say that Jerry's not going to go over, but that's going to be a great match. I would mark out if Jerry Lynn won the title. Everybody knows I love Jerry Lynn.
Be definitely a shock, definitely an upturn for the books.
What?
Definitely be an upturn for the books, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Also, talking about upturns for the books, well, actually not talking about upturns for the books at all, talking about Jerry Lynn would make more sense. There we go. He was, of course, involved in the Super X tournament. And talking of X, there we go, I'm linking it bit by bit. We have the 6-man X Division tag match, which involves Juventud Guerrera, Frankie Kazarian, and Showtime Eric Young.
Showtime Eric Young?
Correct.
Who's that?
Don't test me. I know he's...
I've never seen him yet before, but keep going. I'm sorry to step on you.
I think he's been on before, but I'm not certain. Versus Michael Shane, Chris Sabin, and Nosawa.
Nosawa?
But no return for Teddy Young. Teddy Young? Teddy Hart, by the looks of it, so far.
Oh, I would like to see it.
I thought he was one of the standouts
from the Super X tournament, absolutely. He was impressive. I liked his look.
Apparently, according to someone I was speaking to today, Juventud Guerrera was working extremely stiff on him because Teddy Hart was missing quite a few spots. But I've gone back and looked over the match, and I couldn't see it personally, but obviously I'm not looking for the right sort of thing. So that could be why he's not back. But.
I don't know, but I personally didn't see it. All I know is Hoovy was over. I was watching that, I'm like, yeah, they better bring him back, because these people love him.
Oh, yeah.
I'd milk that for all it's worth. I don't know, people, the juice.
It's loose.
The juice is loose, and the loose is juice.
Yeah.
Hey, you ever see him, the Thunder episode, when he did color commentary?
Yeah.
That was brutal.
It's interesting.
Oh, I should ask Mike today that. So, now you work with Don West, but you have another wrestling co-host that isn't really a great co-host. Not to knock Don West, but I love Don West, but he's just not. He doesn't know wrestling that well. But you also were co-hosted by Juventud Guerrera. How did you like working with Hoovy? I like him. He's good. Lex Luger, Sting.
Mike Tenay isn't foreign.
No, that's Hoovy, not Mike Tenay.
Yes, but you were saying, I like him. Dear me.
That's how he talked.
Wires are obviously crossed. Quite clearly.
Huh?
But, continuing on the TNA preview. Roddy Piper's making his return.
Roddy!
I guess. James is doing a standing round of applause.
Yes. By the way, we have to call him.
I know. You told me that yesterday. Then I got drunk. Oops. So the Hot Rod on the show with a uncensored mic.
And he's coming, and he's pissed.
The small problem with this is going to be, people have been backstage saying, okay, cut out swearing, you know, no swearing, no cursing, etc. No violence against women, yeah. But then they say an uncensored Roddy Piper, and if he is actually uncensored, then that's just going to completely go down the drain.
Well, look at it this way. The last time Piper was on TNA, at least live in the arena, what did he say? He pretty much accused Vince Russo of killing Owen Hart. And then Russo came in the ring and Piper slapped him. That's pretty uncensored. So I don't think they're really worried about him going out there swearing, because Piper, to me, doesn't swear all that much.
Yeah.
But he might say something really out there.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
I love Piper, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Piper's one of those legends that I actually just watched a movie with him in it earlier today. Ever see Body Slam?
No.
Ah.
I'd like to see it, though, if you fancy. I mean, you've got my address, so you know to send it to me.
Did you ever get that tape, by the way?
No, not yet.
Well,
I'm still waiting for it. Probably tomorrow morning, one minute, imagine.
Yeah, I don't know how I sent him. I just sent it Slow Boat. I didn't actually send it. My father sent it, so. He might have sent it the cheap way, so you might get it, like, sometime in the next 36 weeks, yeah.
Again, I must thank David Coleon. It is how it's said in the Godfather film. It is indeed. I must thank you again for sending along those tapes for the X Division match and the X match.
Did he respond to that?
Yes, he did. I got an email through from him saying.
What did he say?
Just saying, yeah, that is indeed how it's spelled and whatnot. And basically, yeah, I have to. This does actually prompt me to remind me of something that I completely forgotten, which is definitely a good thing. In that I have to get your list of tapes off you, just because you said you'd send him a tape log in exchange for the MLW tape.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he said he doesn't mind a single bit about processing and sending along your tape.
Mm-hmm. Good.
We'll get that sorted out.
Good. Well, he sounds like a nice guy, Corleone.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah, he's offered to help me immensely, which I expressly over and over again said thank you very much, and I hope he understands quite how gratuitous. No, terrible word. You know what I mean.
Appreciative.
Appreciative. Brilliant word. Love it. So yeah. So
how much gratitude is the other word you were trying to say?
That's the one.
Gratitude.
Yeah, I knew what I meant really.
Gratuitous.
Good. I'll go back to sleep. So yeah. So he's gonna send that along to you. So I've got to post him or email him your address and your list.
I gotta find my list. So if anybody out there still has it, because I know I sent it to a couple people, please email it to me because I can't find it, and I really don't want to sit down and say, okay, I have AAA when worlds collide, and then okay, let's see what's next. Okay, ACW. Okay, and sit down and do 8,000 tapes in alphabetical order like I had before. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like a very fun evening for me. But if anybody has it, I'll give you a kiss. So.
Okay.
But if anybody gives it to me, I won't kiss you.
Oh, good. Right, I'll see if I can go and find it. You're like I would go and look for you, really.
Well, so TNA sounds like a great show tomorrow night.
Indeed.
By the way,
one thing I'd just like to say is I realise that currently the website isn't fully operational. This is because of a slow server switch, much slower than the 3-strand wrestling one.
Well, that's because I don't know exactly what you want to say about this, but it seems like our time to find a new server was cut dramatically.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Well, I still recommend them. They're a very good host. Teleconnection, I think it is. Tele-connection.com or something. Something similar. And Walter over there. Good hosts. I just acted slightly beyond my capabilities and slightly beyond my reach of, I don't know, I was a little bit egotistical, which some people may say, surely not that, no, definitely not him. Some people will say, yeah, okay, as usual. So basically, they obviously hadn't experienced that side of me before, and they didn't like it, so they've cut us off.
Right.
Which means that we've got to move. But not as we're speaking right now, but pretty much before and after we've been speaking here and interviewing B-Jizzle and doing this recap, I've been working on moving across the domain. We're gonna, obviously, if you're downloading this now, then you've obviously realised the website's now back.
Well, partially back up anyway.
Partially back up. So I'm gonna sort out the hosting and whatnot, and when that's done and fully back operational, you'll obviously see. Obviously, if you're downloading this from the archives, then you're probably thinking, what's going on? I don't get it. I'm confused.
You're not thinking about?
No.
Is there any way we can get Kid Cash to ride a unicycle?
It is.
For some reason I'm having this idea like, Doink and Dink. If we could find a big guy with long hair like that kind of resembles Kid Cash, and do an angle like Doink and Dink with him, I'm trying to think of a catchy name, then I think that'd be funny. Cash, of course.
Kid and Sid.
Huh?
Kid and Sid.
Oh yeah, bring Sid Vicious in.
You know what, Kid?
Let's call Sid and tell him about this idea. We have this idea where you'll have this midget guy. He's not actually a midget, but he's damn close to it. And you're going to be the big guy of the team. And we're going to call him Kid and Sid. And basically he's going to jump into your arms and you're going to, throw whoopee cushions under people's seats and stuff. What do you think?
Go on.
Don't ever call me again.
Yeah, we'd be on Sid Bad Books.
I could say a couple of lines there, but I like Sid a lot, so I'm not going to say anything. He's a gentleman. So.
Sid's real. While I'm here, I'd like to plug my wrestling captions that I've added to 3StoneWrestling.com, which is another thing that I've added. They're done by Asylum, who's a brilliant guy.
Asylum's a great poster on the forums. He's one of the few guys that I actually agree with on the forums quite often. So.
Asylum and Subculture, whose real name, he's going by his real name, Matt Wilson, on the website. So Matt, he's on there, and Tortured Soul is also on there. So
who's that one? Tortured Soul? He does not like me.
No, he doesn't. I know his brother in real life, so
Has he spoken of me?
Not to me, no.
But how do you know he doesn't like me?
He says it on the forums. He's kind of open about it. Most people are,
Believe it or not, I'm starting to get a little bit of a following. I was ghosting I wasn't ghosting. I had somebody paste me the conversation about me in one of the MSN chat rooms. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much about 50-50, people that hate me and people that like me, so it's a lot better than it was.
Oh, yeah.
There was a time not that long ago that people all wanted to lynch me, but now they're starting to slowly accept me.
Oh, lucky James.
Yes.
You're not quite loved, but it's close.
I'm not quite loved, but I'm not exactly hated, so.
I would like to say congratulations to JC. I hope you're listening. You better be. On your promotion.
What has he been promoted to?
Pardon?
What's he promoted to?
He is now an administrator.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, congratulations, Jay. Now,
we know he'll do a good job.
Yes. And if I can throw this in there.
Why, there be trouble?
Why?
Yeah, of course you can throw it if you like.
I think he should.
10%.
What?
Nothing.
I think he should fly to Boston instantly.
Fly to Boston?
Fly to Boston instantly.
All right.
I won't get into why, but I think if he's bright, he would. There's a great person there waiting for him, and I hope he realizes it.
Ding 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 ding.
That could be Doink. That could be Sid and Kid's theme song. Cash they can even put makeup on and run around the ring, and Cash can ride a unicycle around. And
Did you hear that typing?
yes.
That was me closing the BG James thread on 3SW forums.
Wow.
No more questions.
You know what else they can do?
What?
They can have a female call me out of the blue and curse me out for 45 minutes for no evident reason.
That's never happened before.
No.
That'd be new, wouldn't it?
Be a new storyline, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I must also apologise to Red Dragon and Jeremy Goss, because on the questions I read your names the wrong way around.
Right.
So Jeremy was the first question and the other way around. So, but you both got your names up there, and you both got mentioned by B. Dissel. So Jeremy, you've now been spoken about by the Suntan Superman's partner, the Billy Gunn's partner, the former WWF Tag Team Champion, Hardcore Champion, IC Champion. Or IC? No, probably not.
I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't. Oh, shush. IC Contender. Yeah. There we go. That'll do. So, there you go.
I can see it right now. Like, that's the section of my mind.
What?
Kid and Sid. I think they were great. Let's close it until.
Oh my.
Hey, man. Sid, let me give you this idea. Okay, man.
No, let's not.
And then he goes.
It's a silly idea.
Then he goes. Are you retarded or something?
Yes, he'd be right.
I think this would be a fucking idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna go and start up a new promotion. Got Kid and Sid. I don't think anyone in the world would make Sid do that.
They could feud with Doink and Dink, and it'd be classic. What happened to Dink?
It'd be kind of hard.
I met Dink.
To try Sid. You met Dink, did you?
Yes, I did.
Right.
I met Doink and...
I met The Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's not as big as Dink.
True. Dink's, superstar status.
Dink's in...
I also said I'd throw out a plug to Tim Stein. He mentioned us on his show, VOW, so I said I'd throw out a plug to him.
What exactly did he say about us?
Basically, I was in his chat room, and so he mentioned our show.
What did he say, though? Did he compliment us?
He said how good the show we are, and how we're obviously number 2 to VOW, which I, of course, disagree with, and he disagreed with, and yada yada. You know, obviously.
Number 2 to VOW. Did they hear the interview that we just conducted?
With?
BG James.
Not yet, I don't think.
Well, obviously they couldn't have because it's not up yet. But once they hear this, compare it to the one that they did about a month ago. Whose is better quality?
We'll see. What's inside? But let's not get into that because we're nice people now.
You can be the nice guy. I don't deal with any of these people. I'm not in public relations because I don't get along with anybody. Yeah. And I was told by somebody I'm working for right now that I'm a very leadership quality. That if I ever got involved in the business, that my key problem would be getting along with Vince because I'd try to take over his company. So I actually think that they're probably accurate about that. But but I had an idea for somebody that this person found hysterical. So it was actually more funny than Kid and Sid.
My God.
Here's my idea. To get revenge on somebody that screwed me over recently, I want to become their boss eventually. And what I want to do is have her go out wearing a chicken costume, stand in the middle of the ring singing I'm a Little Teapot, clucking on every third word.
I'm a little teapot, and stuff.
That's about it, yeah.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Yes, it would. And if she says, no, I won't do it, then say, go back to your trailer. You're fired. Okay.
So whoever did that plan for, she or he, emphasis on he, no, dear, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? That sounds terrible. Moving on very swiftly. Hint, hint. We should actually move on and off, if you get what I mean, because we had a pretty long interview. I'd like to know how long that was.
I bet it was about an hour.
since of course we don't know the exact specifics, it will probably, after going through the edit room, it will probably come about 2 or 3 minutes shorter. So I'll probably go off about 50.
I don't think we have much to edit.
No, we don't actually, do we? No. Don't normally, but...
Usually we have to edit, I talk too fast occasionally. So like he'll finish talking and I'll go, and I'll say, excuse me? And I have to cut that out, but...
Yeah, so if people can't understand you, they understand me now.
Yeah, I don't understand how that happened. When I started, I was good, and they were like, everything you said was like, what?
Huh? Here's me, that's probably not a very good idea if everyone's asleep. I'm just going, very loud. That's another thing, I'd also like to close it off, because I'm tired.
Okay, well, all right, see see you in a bit, and don't forget the angle, Kid and Sid. When you see it, when you see Kid and Sid on the show, just know who came up with it.
Yeah.
And just know...
But before we finish off, one thing, just the upcoming interviews with Don Callis, Harley Race, Bob Ryder,
Asia,
Sid, everybody on the east side of the left continent. I mean,
Asia, Sid, Bob Ryder, Harley Race, Don Callis, Evan Ginsberg. Who else we got? We got a couple others too.
Yeah, we do.
I can't even remember who we got.
Neither can I. No. He's quite bad.
Yes, we have Michael Shane that was put up.
Yep.
We just conducted one not long ago. I can't remember who exactly it was.
Big Vito.
Big Vito, yes.
Yeah, Big Vito.
How could we? Yeah, that was a
Very
yeah. Because he had me laughing and he was making fun of me.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I'm trying to ask a question and he's still talking about. I don't even know what the hell he was talking about being Italian and not speaking English, and he's saying it while he's speaking English. So, okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the interactive interview this week, and if you're wondering why the archives aren't working, we already explained that. So stay tuned for more coming up in the next couple weeks, and hopefully everything will be back to normal. But we're staying afloat, and just a note to all the other people, since I'm not the polite one, we're the most extreme brand of mayhem in internet radio.
Our voices are nice.
What?
And our voices are nice, and we always talk wrestling.
Yes.
And we always wrestle in the zone.
We always wrestle.
Might be in radio soon. So.
Your voices.
And with no holds are barred with our in the ring getting sort of thing.
Yes. Is there anybody else you can try to step on?
Trying to think. And we're always live in audio, and we still talk about wrestling. And let me think. There must be another one.
I don't know. There was about 6,000 about a month ago.
We always go beyond the mat. Obviously, I just completely said a name. Like, damn. Yeah, I've always completely run out of ideas, so stop. Shush, let me go back to sleep.
Well, I don't know.
Extremely voiced on our getting holds barred.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'll let you go.
My friends.
All right, stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
Excuse me.